Hello, hello. Jumping on a lot of impromptu lives lately. Feeling pinged to mix it up, change things up. Hello, hello. I'm wanting to chat a little bit about voice text note containers in my mastermind specifically because it is my favorite. It's my favorite. Hello, happy Wednesday. When was the last time I was live? It was last Wednesday on my birthday. How does it get better than that? I'm a week old at 41. How's your day going? What's going on? Have you been in a voice note text only focused container before? Because I've had a couple applications come through in my Spacious mastermind and some folks were confused about like what it is. So like, is there a weekly call? I'm like, no, it's different. It's different. Let me know if you're here, if you have been in one of those before. I had not until recently, where it was purely that. I've been in things where there were calls plus the addition of the channel, so to speak, but not where it was mainly that until recently this year. And it was such a vibe. It is such a vibe. I'm still in it. That I was like, why am I not doing this? I love this. And so I started one. So I'm very excited. Anyways, the reason why I'm also talking about it is because things are opening up again in Spacious June 14th, where I'm inviting new folks in again. And if you are called, I'd love to have you in. My app is in the bio of the application. So what's up with voice note and text only containers? So what is this? Oftentimes people use something like Voxer, or I use WhatsApp just because I'm more familiar with it. But basically think of it like a facilitated, moderated group chat. So folks come in and bring what's up for them, like the questions that are up for them in the moment, which is so cool because basically the room is open 24/7. And I'm in there responding at certain times. So for that container, it's Monday through Friday, business-ish hours, if you will. And so what's so cool about that is it works really amazing with people's schedules. So if you are busy and have like a ton of meetings or just a lot going on, and you're like, oh, I'm really stuck on this thing and I could really use some facilitation or feedback on it, you can drop it in a text note, drop it in a voice note, and then, okay, let it go and I'll come back to it later when I have time, right? And so then I can respond when it's there, and same with me, like in between things. And sometimes we're both in there at the same time. It's like a really magical thing. Sometimes it's like dropped here and then a message is a little bit later and etc. But there's something so cool about that specifically that it's very different than waiting till a call. Because what happens is something comes up and you're like, God, I want facilitation like now-ish. It's not on call, but now-ish, right? Sometime today, I'd like feedback on this. But what usually happens with certain containers is that it's like, oh, I got to wait till the call. The call is on Wednesday, or it's 4 days from now or 2 days from now. It's like, oh. And then by then the energy is kind of shifted and maybe it's clarified a little, but maybe not. And so there's something about the voice text note that is like such a vibe. So for folks that are here, have you been in one before where it's like voice text note specific containers, or have you just done call containers? So I love calls too. Obviously I still do them, but there's something just really magical about it. So not only is it just really lovely to function that way and address the energy, because then we can shift it a lot faster than waiting for a call per se, is that when it's run in a specific way, where it's run where yours truly knows boundaries, understands boundaries, and is moderating things. So something that I have like in my containers, especially in this, is that folks don't give unsolicited feedback. How many times have you ever been in a container where maybe the moderator, facilitator wasn't really trained in how to handle groups? And I've found that to be true in other things that I've been in where the facilitator might always know the nuances to redirect a person or kind of keep the things moving along, or a person is giving another person feedback and then it just gets messy, right? And like, especially if they weren't asking for that, they were asking for the feedback from me, not necessarily from the group. And so I set those boundaries at the beginning, very early on, so that people are clear on the space, right? You can offer support to each other, but you're not facilitating each other. That is my job. So this is where I really appreciate truly actually my therapist background, because I was trained in running all sorts of groups, group dynamics, all these things that come up when people get triggered by each other, blah, 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 all the things. And so having that background just makes such a difference in running these types of group experiences that I get not everyone has. They just don't know it, right? And then it's kind of like certain people dominate and it's just like, it's not the vibe, you know? So anyways, this is what I love about these containers, because it's just different. It's different. It's such a vibe. Anyway, so Spacious in particular, Spacious, my mastermind, is all about creating space in your life. Creating space in your mind, creating space in your surroundings, creating space in your energy. Because if we are to live a life of true fulfillment, we have to be connected, plugged in to universal consciousness, to where we are receiving downloadable pings. Ooh, it sounds fun to go to the coffee shop right now. Ooh, for me, it was like jump on live. I was literally throwing the ball with Bucky, and it was like, go live and talk about Spacious. I'm like, oh, okay. Right? Like, I wasn't planning on it or anything. This is why I'm sporadic, if you will, because I'm constantly just following the energy. And the inspired ping was to jump on here and do this. Yet you don't receive that inspiration, the downloadable inspiration, if you are constantly consuming, numbing out, keeping yourself like distracted or busy. You're not in the no thought zone, right? When do your best ideas come? But when you're in the shower, when you're not thinking about it, when you're on a walk, when you're playing with your kid, like right when you're somewhere else. You're not really thinking, right? We fill our minds with a lot of feelings, trauma and drama, thinking, ruminate, blah, blah, blah. We fill it constantly. So it's busy, 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 go, go, go. And I get that this is like such a bigger conversation in recovering from trauma, regulating our nervous system, right? Because part of it is a protection mechanism to just fill our minds constantly, to the point that we're a bit space phobic. Like we don't like space, like the liminal space where it's just quiet or nothing's happening. We're always trying to fill it with things, filling our mind, filling our time, filling our calendar. How open is your calendar? Is it just full all the time? Is your mind full all the time? And what about your environment, right? It's kind of like maybe you move into a new place and you're like, oh, it has so much storage, apartment, home. And then what happens? You start to fill it all. Oh, well, I have the space for it. Why don't I just fill it? I'm like, no, clear it out. So in Spacious, there is a 3-part masterclass that comes with it, Space Masterclass, that I'm going over all this. It was already recorded, so that's something you do get. So there's a lot of foundational information and tools. So going into it, because it's all about learning to trust you and your awareness and your intuition. Because what do people sell on here? Usually it's like, well, learn my modality. Learn how I did it. And I'm like, no, you need to learn how you do it. I can't teach you how you do it. I can facilitate you learning to trust you, returning you back to you. I often work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and, when they're talking different like business ideas and strategies, so to speak, I'm constantly returning them back to what is fun for you to choose, what's going to light you up, and what is truly fulfilling, because that is what matters, and that will magnetize what you're desiring. not the other way around. We think, I need to figure it out. You will constantly be chasing your tail. And so I was having a conversation with my Spacious current folks about training your state to be unconditional. Now, this isn't 100% of the time, I get it, but we're seeking to respond and create our state unconditionally based on what's happening around us. Because what have we been taught but just to constantly respond to life? And if we are responding in this way, we can build up a negative momentum by then seeking problem, issue. And we're kind of hardwired that way already. So we have to work to train ourselves to respond differently. Like, it takes active work. This is why I'm saying subconscious reprogramming is just like a constant. It's a constant thing for you to be reprogramming your mind. Because if you just kind of let it go, the software, it's like if you never update it, the software, it starts to get outdated and it's going to create funk. And so by working on that, constantly training yourself to respond in a way to create a state, then life can be happening to you and you can navigate it with more ease versus this has to happen for me to be happy. I need to have this job, this amount of money, this relationship, this life, blah, blah, blah. What makes you think you'll be happy when you get it? You have to choose it now. Be, do, have. You have to be it now. Which means being the person that already has it. So today in Nervous System Sanctuary, which is my nervous system membership, we do all sorts of things. Nervous system regulation is kind of the key focus, but what folks don't realize is we actually do a lot of subconscious reprogramming and visualizing in there because we want to work smarter, not harder. If you're going into lots of judgment and have funky mindset, you have to do a lot more nervous system work. And so today we were looking at being the most abundant self now. And so what does that look like? But cultivating the feeling of having it. If you're familiar, this is very like Dr. Joe Dispenza, where it's like you have to feel it. Feel it as if it's done. It's done, it's done, it's done. You have it. So feeling it. So that's what we are looking at today with money specifically, because money tends to really jack up everyone's nervous system. Or the way we've been taught with it. So seeking to kind of regulate ourselves around that. I'm trying to remember how I got there. So folks who are here, have you been in a voice note text only container? Do you have questions around that or around creating space in your life to connect to your intuition specifically? What questions do you have around your intuition, trusting yourself? Do you struggle to trust yourself? So the Spacious Mastermind, it goes for about 3-month increments, so to speak. So I'm welcoming new folks in about a month, like mid-June. And so if you're feeling pinged, I would definitely encourage you to apply because it's a very limited small group, 10 folks max. Is it calling you? I'm curious, does anyone have questions? I have a quiet group today. What do you want to know about intuition, trusting yourself, creating space in your life? Alrighty, well, if there is anything that pings you, feel free to DM me or let me know if you have questions around it, because it's like such a vibe in there. Truly, I'm so obsessed. It's so amazing to just have folks drop in and share what's coming up for them, and then for folks to hear from each other. I was speaking to a one-on-one client today, and she was sharing how she had done one-on-one work with me and been in groups. And she was just sharing how actually the group really helped normalize things for her, because times where she just thought she was crazy and alone in how she was feeling, it wasn't enough to hear it from me that she wasn't. Something shifted for her when she joined a group and heard other folks share really similar experiences. And she was like, okay, wow, I'm not alone. I just feel so much more connected. And so this group environment is truly so healing, truly. It does take a lot of courage to expose you in front of the group, especially with things that you might be struggling with. And I find that especially to be true with other therapists, coaches, spiritual healers, where you are facilitating other people. Then there's something like, I don't want to expose me. I don't want to expose myself. I can't have it wrong. I can't have something wrong. I have to have it together all the time. I get it. And the thing is, nobody knows all the things. Nobody has it together all the time. And so truly to be in those spaces where people can share vulnerably and courageously, it just can create so much shift. So if you're not in a group experience, I would encourage you to do so. All right, y'all. Well, that's what I had to say about Spacious. If you are voice text notes, you're like, I don't know, I'm still a call person. I get you. We have office hours starting tomorrow. Office hours is my brand new offer. I love responding to questions. That is my jam. That's like how my energy is most magical and potent, I would say. Blame it on the human design. But I'm a responder and I love it. So it's going to be super unconventional, unstructured, and going to be whatever is coming up for folks. So that can take a lot of courage to, again, show up and just be there to ask questions and expose you. So what's so cool about it is just really magical tools can come out of it, and information, and hearing what other people are going through to normalize it for you, or perhaps it's something you're going through but are a little nervous to ask about. So we'll see what happens. I'm really excited about it, but I was just feeling called to let go of the structure and let go of the teaching on a specific topic, which is kind of how my previous membership was, which was teaching a specific masterclass each month, which was a vibe for a while until it wasn't, until I was called to do something else. So I'm just leaning into this right now. We'll see. I'm still feeling it out, but if you're feeling pinked, you know where to find me. All right, y'all. I'll see you next time. Bye.